BooBaes. BooBaes. Hi.
Hello and welcome
To
BooBaes.
BooBaes.
That's right. We're your hosts. I'm Caitlin,
And I'm Joshua.
and we're here to talk to you about a listener request.
One listener request.
That's right.
That is from Sunny. Sunny
Yeah.
Brookpay. Yes.
Sunny.
Sunny. Thank you. I used the whole name there.
I know.
Me and Sunny go way back. We used to go to high school together.
Fun.
So that's why I was just kind of like, whoa, whole name there. But blowing your whole cover. So sorry, Sunny.
Hope you didn't want to be anonymous.
But we are covering, if you checked out the title, What Keeps You Alive.
What Keeps You Alive? 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by Colin Minihan.
Yeah, I was about to say, right? Minihan?
Minihan.
Minihan?
Mini hands.
Mini hands.
Tiny hands.
Without the DS. Yes. And stars Hannah Emily Anderson and Brittany Allen, and is basically a lover's it is a lover's quarrel, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell. But follows these two human beings going into a cabin, remote area, lakeside setting. And
Classic.
a lot of stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff really
Kind of right
does.
off the bat, too.
Yes.
There's a
it didn't-
good twist, a twist in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It didn't take long.
Mm-mm.
Brittany Allen, so she plays Jules.
Yes.
And she did all of the music for this movie.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
like the whole soundtrack is her. And it's like even like not only is it just, the singing and stuff, but like when you look on Spotify, it's just Brittany Allen. And it's like even the like orchestral stuff.
Damn.
But then obviously
That's talent.
there's like actual sonatas and stuff in there too
Yeah.
that are, well-known ones. There was a few like notable piano pieces during like the luminol scene and stuff that were very clearly like composers and not hers.
Yeah.
But all the other music and just the soundtrack in general, which I thought was really good.
Throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
I agree.
her.
Mm-hmm.
And so
That's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
For her to be able to act in it and do that, like, what else did she do?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's
I'm
enough.
like, did she did
That's
she
awesome.
like write any of it? I don't know. But yeah, she did
I feel like she's capable.
Yeah, she did a really good job with the music. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen her in anything, I think.
Same, to be honest, but
Hannah looks familiar. So
the girl who played Jackie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she definitely, I feel like I've seen her in something before. She just has she was in Jigsaw. And The Purge. I've actually not seen a lot of the Purge
You haven't
movies.
seen the Purge movies?
I've seen the original Purge.
Yeah, I've seen 1, 2, and then the last one that came out. I don't even remember the name of it, but I've seen it.
There were so
the latest
many.
One.
What
awesome.
I've probably seen her in was this Lizzie Borden thing that she was in.
Did you watch Lizzie Borden?
Yes.
I don't even. Is she British or
Or
American? She's American, isn't she?
Yeah, you know what? I don't own. Oh, she was also in Dark Phoenix, which is I think one of the mutant.
Not so great X-Men movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I almost said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Silly.
Yes.
But yeah, so we basically start out with this nice, like, kind of serene forest view, like an aerial shot from the ground, looking up.
So it is a
Ground shot
of
the air.
Yeah, like imagine when you are taking a picture of the sky and you look up, there's a bunch of trees. So you're just seeing like that sun coming through kind of situation.
Canopy.
Yeah, exactly. There's some really tall trees as well.
They were.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful area.
Yeah. So spoiler alert, she calls some cops later. She says something Bearview Road or something like that, but we never get like where they're at, right?
No. I don't think there's any sort of, we have no clue, which maybe was intentional because maybe Jules doesn't also know.
Yeah, so we're also left in the dark.
Yeah. And so we're all there together. Then we get just a very quick title card flash in the silence, which I liked because there was, this kind of music playing that was like very, it was filling up the air, but it wasn't intense. It was like, almost like background noise. And it was cool. I liked
kind of
it.
like spatial audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it flashed to
because
the
you were
silence.
still really kept in the element of like that shot, especially in the opening, made you feel like you were there.
Yeah, it was good.
And I'm sure everybody has a memory or a picture of what that looks like, and you can feel that feeling of when you're like fresh
Just
air,
sitting there,
there, gazing
at the sky,
Beautiful.
laying back, not doing anything. Yeah, it's the best. As they were driving up, it was giving very much Friday the 13th.
I thought that too. Yeah,
road,
and the camp
everything.
setting and all of that. Yeah.
I was like, oh, and then even Jules' short hair kind of reminds me of.
Oh, yeah, of Mrs. Voorhees?
No. The whoever the main girl is.
I don't remember her name.
I don't either. So I
main girl.
I feel like I said that the other day.
Whenever we were doing the live show, right?
Yeah. And then I was like, what is her name? Now I need to
look it up.
I need to know.
And they were singing.
It is Alice.
Alice.
Oh, that's
okay.
right.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Alice.
And it does look like that. They're singing that little song, or well, not singing her, Miss Jackie. Because at first I got their names flipped for like the first kind of 10 minutes of the movie until I heard him call a name, and I was like, oh wait, my bad. So then the next 30 minutes it was hard to rewire my brain to be like, oh yeah, that's Jules and that's Jackie, my bad. But Jackie is like, this is our song, and
it was a weird song.
Yeah.
Was it the one that Jules ends up playing over the loudspeaker?
Actually, good callback. I'm not sure. It might be, but I don't know. That was a really like hard rock song later on. I don't think it's the same song.
The intro, it was
could have
very
been an intro.
Like kind of also like that, but yeah, I wasn't quite sure if it was the same. Nothing felt like super memorable from the song. I don't know, but that would have been a good thing. That would have been, I mean, if you're going to do that, at least do it with that song.
And so they're pulling up to the cabin.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful cabin.
I want to live there.
I wouldn't even call it a cabin. It was like a house.
Mansion.
Cabin mansion.
Cabin mansion.
Cabin mansion. That's should be a trend.
And this cabin mansion.
Just for some reason it makes me think of Cabbage Patch. And so we have Jules like looking all over the place. As she was going in thinking, what'd she say? She was like, I think I might love this place more than you, or something like that. Yeah.
And I was like, you should. You really should. The moment she was going through, like at one point, I think Jackie like barely steps into the kitchen, and you see that stove, and I was like, oh my fucking God, the stove. The stove was so beautiful.
You loved the stove.
That was all I loved. I'm just kidding. I loved everything about it. But
well,
that stove,
the house is really
I
nice.
lost my mind.
I honestly, I'm not a stove person, so I didn't really think of the stove. My bad. I might have been writing a note as well.
Yeah, true.
And not looking right at that
It was
moment.
A brief like flash. It doesn't. It shows twice, and it's like right there, and then later she.
Oh!
I almost knocked over my juice.
You scared me. Not the juice.
Okay, I'll move it that way. Good thing these have a wide base.
My heart beat.
I know. My stomach dropped. I was like, oh.
Okay.
Because it would have got right on you.
Yeah, well, no.
And all the equipment.
All over the table. Yeah.
And sticky.
And it's sticky. That's juice. That's sugar water for you.
I brought cran mango ocean spray for us to drink today.
Sponsor us, Ocean Spray.
Yeah. I love cranberry, anything. Mango. I'm allergic to mango, but love it.
And
just a little bit.
It's really good. They have so many flavors, though, to be honest. That cranberry is getting around town. It is, because there's mango, and I've had some like with peach,
apple.
And with the apple, peach strawberry. Then there's like threesomes going on.
Yeah, like white cran peach.
Ménage à trois. Ooh.
Wait, that would just be a white peach and a cranberry.
It's giving privilege of the cran juices, the privileged one.
White cranberry.
With white grapes.
Yep.
So where were we? Oh my gosh.
The stove is cute.
Oh, and they start kissing and being all lovey-dovey, right?
Yeah, as they're walking through, it's first off, Jules gets a continuous shot as she's exploring the house, which I thought was really good. The continuous shot was nice as it's like going up. They did a good job of like kind of setting the scene of the house.
We do get to be in a lot of it.
Yeah. And then Jackie is explaining how basically after Canada confederated or something, Oh, okay. So we are somewhere up there.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were basically giving out land for
There
free.
are a lot of places like that up there.
Yeah.
The landscape.
To like come farm there. As long as you like promised to farm there, you could get this land. And so then her grandpa built the house on it.
Yeah.
And that's why
maybe the land
family.
wasn't like.
But who knows? That could all be a lie too.
Maybe the land wasn't doing so well, and it was like
needed to be tilled.
Yeah, it was kind of like well, my gosh, why can't I think of the word? But for them to like actually make the ground like better and for future, use, because they're not going to be there forever.
True.
So that's awesome. But yeah, so Canada. Anyways,
and then at this point, Jackie also says, "Hey, have you seen my insulin?" And I was like, "This insulin's going to come into play for sure."
Foreshadowing.
And then, in the window at the top of the stairs, that like arched went beautiful. I wanted to live there. Had a clawfoot bathtub.
We'll have to look up the location. Maybe it's a place you can go to.
The whole house, like the outside color was
maybe
fun.
You can rent it.
And I don't know.
Airbnb style.
I'm a little scared. What if I get killed?
It's just in the movies.
That's true.
Always got to remind yourself.
But Jackie disappears while she's searching. And then basically
Which
Jules
is really
like,
weird.
Yeah. Because she just like was like, I'm going to make some food or something is what she was going to do. And then all of a sudden she was just gone. And I was like, okay, maybe she just went out to the car.
She left. I would have been like, oh my God, they just left me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been like, and then she finds her and
out by the lake
and just staring at the boat's house.
Dark lake.
I said, what in the Amityville is this?
It did very Amityville.
I was like, get away from that boathouse.
It felt very much like that.
I didn't trust Jackie from the beginning. This moment on, I was like, nah, it's this bitch.
Yeah, I thought something was up already. Well, especially, I mean, you read it in the synopsis, or like whatever little info for the movie. But
yeah, I didn't read that. I didn't read it.
It just basically says like, couple goes to place and she's not who she said she was.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so I also, though, she gives the vibes. It's she's a good actress.
Because especially once they started singing there's a demon inside, blood let it out.
Yeah.
That song's stuck in my head right now.
I mean, yeah.
But
good
I was like, that's really fucking creepy.
But I was literally thinking the same thing.
The way she was just staring, like.
I was about to say, is this girl demon possessed? Like,
I know.
what is going on? But I honestly think because
she's
we get to know,
demon of killing.
She might, yeah, she does, because the song is like,
that's her demon.
It's in, and I was literally, my note was very much like, oh, she's explaining what she's gonna do to her in the song, but it was also giving like possession or something, especially with her saying that, like maybe going there, it was like a family thing that only happens now that she was like on her family like land kind of situation. I don't know.
That would have been cool. Yeah, I like that,
because it also just kind of gave like, now that we know she's just kind of a complete deranged psychopath.
Yeah.
Or is it a sociopath? Which one's the one that has no emotion or feeling?
I get it confused. They kept referring to her as a psychopath though.
Right.
So let's go with what the movie called her.
Even though I don't know if that's necessarily, but
that's on them then.
She crazy. She is a little not there.
Yes.
All there at all. And
it's causing her to kill. Also, side note.
So she just,
do you think that Brittany Allen's at some point looked like, so Jules, do you think that she looked like Eyebrows from Midsummer? And also, I could see that. There were a few angles where I was like, damn, they could be siblings.
They could have been siblings or cousins, very close related cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the front angles, but there was a few angles, especially as she was going to search for Jackie there. She looked very much like her.
To that.
Or him. And I was like, oh. Are they? No, they're not siblings.
They're not related at all.
They just kind of look similar.
And so at this point, the lake, she and her are basically they're back inside and they're deciding on what to eat, right?
Yeah, I think so. They're basically sitting there with
and she's
that
singing the
song.
demon song. Yeah. And so she's about to get some smooches. They start to get a little frisky and hot.
She pulls the guitar away and she was like, "You're so hot." And I was like, no, that was just fucking creepy.
Yeah. I think she
picked up those vibes. Yeah.
I think she did it because she was just like, no, let me stop this.
This is getting kind of weird.
A little dark. Yeah. And so then all of a sudden, as they're getting like really
hot and heavy.
Yeah, with each other. These lights come and pull up. So someone's in the driveway and they're like, what the fuck? Who's here? And Miss Jackie is throwing her clothes on because she's going to go take a look.
Yeah.
And Jules is even saying like, don't do it. But she's like,
this is a creepy house.
Yeah. And she's just like, I'm going to go look. And so she goes out there and it's her across the lake neighbor, which is a very far distance. But I guess if at nighttime you can see lights. So that makes sense. But I was like, that's far.
Yeah.
For them to be like, oh, the neighbor's there. But
they did a good job of when she stepped out of the car, making her look very ominous.
a little ominous, because you only see her silhouette.
Yeah.
Yes,
and she's got like a black, puffer jacket on and stuff, and I think she had her hood up.
And she says, Megan?
And I was like, who the fuck is Megan?
Me too. I was like, what in the actual fuck? So plot twist number 1: Miss Jackie is not actually Jackie.
She Megan.
She is Megan.
What the fuck?
Miss Megan.
She's like, it's me, Sarah. And I was like, okay, what, Sarah? And
then I'm like, who the fuck is Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, is this like one of her exes?
That's what I started to think as well.
At first.
Or like a stalker.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is a stalker coming into play?
And then at one point, like I pretty much from the beginning was like, it's Jackie. She's creepy. I didn't even read the synopsis at all. I just said, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like clicked on it. But then at one point I was like, oh, is Sarah killing people who get close to Jackie?
Ooh, okay.
I would have liked that.
That would have been, there's so many spins on where this could have gone.
Yeah, it could have gone a million different. Demon possession, crazy ex.
Yeah, when I think about it, and all of it,
ex.
at each point, there's a few points in the movie, like, it almost feels like that Final Destination 3, like you pick where the movie goes.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your ending. Magic Tree House.
Literally.
Let's see how it goes. That'd be cool.
And so of course we're all the audience like, what the fuck? Okay, so she's actually Megan. And then we have, which is so awkward, Jules walking up and being like, hi, hello, as someone would. And then she has to be like, this is my wife, Julia, which we found out her name is actually Julia, but we're gonna call her Jules.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, hi, I'm Sarah. And they start talking a little bit. And that's whenever it gets mentioned again. Oh, I used to live down here when I was a kid with Megan. And then she's like, oh, did you now with Megan? Megan, huh?
She played it remarkably cool. I would have been like, who the fuck is Megan?
Yeah, I would have been like, oh, yeah, sure.
I don't know. I would have looked at her and been like, who's Megan?
Yeah.
You're Jackie. Why do you keep calling her Megan?
Confused.
I would have.
You would have.
I'm not as calm, cool, and collected. I would have been like, why the fuck you calling my wife a different name?
But that's more confrontational, the confrontational route. She definitely was just like, okay, we'll talk about this in 5 seconds. And so
get inside.
They do, in which she is trying to explain to her. Or no, it's already the next morning. My bad. It is the next morning.
Switches to the next morning.
And Jules is now by the lake.
Jules has a sweatshirt on that says RIP too. And I was like, not a good
omen.
And then also she's doing some like real intense trail running.
She really is.
For not knowing that area. And it wasn't a very clear path.
I thought she was honestly at one point maybe gonna like twist her ankle, break a leg, like do something as well. Or like fall and like bang her head.
Yeah, because she was just running. And I was like, girl, you really don't look like you run
physically
often.
And figuratively from everything.
Yes.
She had a lot of thinking to do, I feel like.
That she doesn't have a physique for running. It just, the way she was running looked very awkward. It didn't look like she was a seasoned runner.
No, yeah.
And so
that's exactly
she was like
what
a baby deer,
too.
like kind of running through. And I was like, girl, you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Like I run on trails a lot and I still fall.
You know what it gave? It gave very method, and it gave that they told her, you know what, tomorrow we're doing the running scene. So what we want and they didn't tell her. She said, I did this and they didn't even ask me to do this and I did this. I did not sleep the night before and I did not drink any water and
just dehydrated
and tired and filmed that scene of me running as fast as I could. So that's why she was just like
looks so like that.
Yeah. But she does get to like the like what? She sees the bottom of the lake and she comes to that boat.
Yeah. She comes up to the shore, finds a little boat on the water, and all of a sudden Megan/Jackie is behind her. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, how the hell did you get here? That was creepy. Didn't like that.
No.
And then she was like, do you want to go out on the lake? And I was like,
red flag.
Yes. And they go out there, and then at one point she was like, whoever you are. And I was like, oh my God.
But mood.
Yeah.
Because same. Because at that point it's like, what? I feel like that's something to disclose.
Yeah, definitely. Because like her story, like I whenever they got out onto the lake, she explains her side of the story, and it makes sense. I feel like it is a kind of common thing to do.
If you have empathy, you're compassionate, it makes sense. But also, she didn't tell her that.
Yeah, I would have. I mean, because at that point,
kind of important.
Yeah,
because if it were to come up, now she looks like a dumbass in front of this other person.
Oh, but I'm your wife, and I don't even know this.
There you go.
I mean, feel very betrayed.
Even if you don't even want to talk about it, like at least she know. Like, oh yeah, you know what? My name used to be Megan. It's just not a big deal. Let's just not talk about it. But in case that someone ever asks, like that is me. If you ever get a phone call and someone's like, "Where's Megan?" You know, hello, that's me. But I jack you now.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Because she explains that whenever she realized she was gay, that she changed her name because Megan never really felt like her, and she became Jackie.
Yeah.
If I was going to change my name, I'd probably choose something more exciting than Jackie. But
disclaimer, no shade to all Jackies.
Yes, it wasn't your fault.
No.
Just kidding.
But that also reminded me just
Caitlin,
what I was
y'all.
with a C.
With a C and an I.
And a ITLIN.
Yes.
Wait, well, Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Well, there's
Caitlin.
an A in there. There's an A. And so, okay, back to the TV. They're talking about it. And at this point, Jules is being like, okay, cool. I get it. All right.
But
well,
still
I guess
a little,
that's not so bad.
Like, still obviously a little upset. Yeah. Because then she's like, okay, well, close your eyes, and puts this locket around her neck. And
it's got a little picture inside of it.
Yeah. And I was like,
That's sweet, but also conniving, and also weird. Feels a little manipulative. Feels like,
let me just brush this over with a present.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
And then we get this really good wide shot, an actual aerial shot of the water from above. And it was really
very
good.
dark, so it gave me that lake was very deep, especially when we do later. It's like what, 305 feet
350,
deep?
yeah.
50 deep. Yeah, so it looked like it.
Yeah, and it was
pretty.
It was pretty.
I want to be out in the middle of it.
Maybe in a boat more stable than the one they were in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Bigger boat.
Yes.
No life jacket. Just kidding. You should always wear a life jacket. And so
I'm not a great swimmer. I would have been Jenny.
Okay. I love a good swim. I told you I swam in the Brazos River, right?
Yes, and I said, they put poo-poo in there, right?
Sunny was actually watching. Shout out Sunny.
Whenever you did that?
Yeah, because we used to go to Cameron Park and hike. And so back in the days when I was crazy enough to jump into the river.
Water always does look really nice.
Oh, no.
Kind of.
But like now that now I'm like as an adult, I'm like, maybe not that lake. Never river. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Another one. I know it's not clean. And then actually there's like alligator gar and all these things in there. And I'm just like, now I think about alligator gar. So there's like basically like a fish, but it has a snout that's kind of like an alligator-ish type of snout. Right now. And it's got a lot of teeth.
I hate this.
And they can get pretty big, actually.
Alligator gar.
And if not that, there are snapping turtles. So I wouldn't want to get snapped by a snapping turtle at any part of my body. So.
Oh my God, these things
They can get pretty big.
Human.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So just like imagine that, like mistakenly, like a nibble.
That's not nibble. That's gonna take your leg off.
Yeah.
That'll take a limb.
I don't know. I doubt that. I don't even know if I'm sure there are some reported attacks from alligator gars. I'm sure it's very small, but I could have been the one from Waco.
Largest 8 feet,
local team
5 inches,
dumb enough to swim in the river.
127 pounds.
That's
Their
like
diet
a
is
lot.
Buffalo.
What?
Like the cow.
No.
Or hot wings. Carp and shad.
Wait, what did you say? It's hot. Wait, what? I'm so confused.
I said like hot wings, but I'm assuming it means an actual buffalo. I don't know.
How does the buffalo? Well, like when they go to drink water, we don't have buffalo, so they've got to be eating something else.
This is Texas.gov.
They're eating the little Texas black bears we used to have. That's why we don't have anymore. Yeah, we used to have little bears, but they got eradicated. Well, they got eradicated by humans a long time ago.
The alligator gar is a ray-finned something fish related to the brown fish in the infralassum blah blah blah. Largest species in the gar family and among the largest freshwater fish in North America. Terrifying. The fossil record traces its group's existence back to the early Cretaceous over 100 million years ago.
Shout out to the alligator gars. That's crazy. I love learning about stuff like that, though. So the more you know.
They're important, apparently.
They are. Important to the ecosystem. We are a part of a big structure.
I'm scared. End here. Hope there's no alligator gars in this lake.
I really don't.
That'd be scary.
But we're transitioning now to a shooting practice situation. We have Jackie shooting, and I feel like she's making it look like she sucks, maybe.
Jules shoots at first.
Oh, is it Jules?
And well, I think maybe she's just actually not that. Oh, you think to make Jackie feel better is why she did it? Like that's why she wasn't hitting anything?
Yeah.
And then Jackie comes in and then she's like, doop, doop, doop. And
I don't know why I just got them switched up again, but you're right. Yes.
Well, because you explained earlier, the whole beginning, you had them switched, which is fine.
No, you're fine. But my brain literally just melted there for a whole second and I had to catch up.
It was like,
I was like, wait, what? Malfunction. Malfunction. Okay, yes. No, yeah. And so the way that she was like, and she was also saying like, you might hurt yourself or something like that. Or I don't know. She was kind of taunting, but not taunting. And then, yes, Jackie is just like, pew, pew,
she was
pew,
like,
pew.
Your form's all wrong.
Yeah.
That's what she told her.
She's trying to correct her.
She was like, straighten your shoulders, babe. Your form's all wrong. And then she was like, doom, doom, doom. Takes out 3 cans.
And already I was just like, oh, not a good sign. Not a good sign.
I was like, yeah.
When you find out that your significant other is actually like a trained assassin, it's not that great.
Especially
to find out
after
that
I
way.
already found out she has like another name that she told these people.
There's a lot of stuff that's like now kind of like, here's another little twist.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
That seems suspicious.
Seems like I would have been nice to know.
Yeah.
What if I was not pro-gun?
Yeah.
That might have been on the table.
I know. And then because she even said like killing for sport isn't exactly my thing.
That's true. Yeah.
And then I was like, ooh. And then we're inside.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting this story of how when Jackie was a young girl.
We do.
Her and Jenny were sleeping over and their dad woke him up. Her dad woke him up and was like, it's time y'all learned something about life. Or something like that.
Literally.
Made them get out of bed and puts a shotgun in their hands.
And they're like, it's time to go. Get at him. Obviously, I'm sure they've seen him do it for a while because they know he hunts. So
yeah, but I also feel like maybe like don't just like let him run loose.
But also maybe for like how we have a Jackie the way she is, could be like stuff from her childhood that led her to be maybe the way she is. I don't know if that's a thing, but yeah. So who knows? Dad could have been also off the rails a little bit too. That's true.
Which I mean, she does kind of say at the end because Jules asks her like, "Why did you never talk about your dad? Why did you always avoid it?" And she was like, "Did they do something to you?" And she was like, "No, they didn't." And I was like. Oh,
literally, because that could have gone a whole different direction.
Yeah, had this massive backstory, and then she just basically says it's nature versus like it's not nurture, and like they raised me fine. I just am a killer.
Literally, instinctual.
Yeah.
And so, spoiler alert, she ends up telling that story of how they go outside and there's a black bear, and they end up she ends up shooting it, but she like still doesn't give it like a kill like hit, and she's just basically, she said I could have done the merciful thing and like kill it, put it out of its misery, but I just watched it
Yeah, because
suffer.
her gun did jam.
That's right, the gun jammed.
The gun jammed, but then she says I just watched the life leave its eyes for like 20 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck? You're 8.
Yeah,
Like, I think she was around 7 or 8 or something.
It's dark. It's
but I was
grim.
just like, what the hell? And you can even see on Jules' face, like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
this is dark as shit. Also,
I would
why
also
did you not bring that up earlier?
be a little miffed, because that's also like, just one more thing adding to the notches of just like things that I'm finding out about you on this trip.
If I came face to face with a black bear, I'd probably bring that story up a few times.
They've been married for like a year at this point. Yes.
So who knows how long they were
dating. It seems maybe it could have been like a fast engagement thing.
I feel like
that's what it feels very much so. Yeah. Jackie probably did manipulate the fuck out of Jules.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she wanted that. Well, we'll get to it. So after
I
this,
say is she a gold digger?
Oh, we do get what Jules is sleeping, or it's another day and night turning to day, and then Jackie leaves a note like saying like, oh, I went into town and I didn't want to wake you up because you look so peaceful.
Yeah.
Which would I would be like,
and
no,
they said that
I would
they ate the teddy bear too.
Yeah. I would have liked to have like been woken up and like.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit upset if I was just left in the middle of nowhere. Like, bitch, maybe I wanted to go into town.
I would like the option.
Yes.
I might even still decline, but ask me.
But at least tell me.
But you know what? Now I'm just bitching.
No.
And so
I full
team options.
Yes.
And so that's whenever she ends up leaving Jules herself and getting into the little boat, and she star's rowing across the lake.
On over to Sarah's. I was like, what the fuck?
As if it was gonna be like an easy thing. You've rowed a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, and especially I've never
kayak. Like
I've done
especially when
like,
you're going against currents.
I've done like a canoe.
Yeah.
Setting. I've never done like a rowboat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I have. I've kayaked and I've canoed, and those are both like kayak is pretty easy to like. I feel like I could clear that lake. I'd be tired when I got over there. But it's a little bit slimmer of a boat, not as much that you're having to, I feel like it's a little more aerodynamic through the water.
Yeah.
And then that one is like, and
it's so chunky.
It didn't look like because if you don't use like both arms simultaneously, like one slips behind, you start turning yourself.
You're fucked.
And then you're just going in circles.
And then your arms are just fucking tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of upper body strength. It's a lot of core strength actually as well.
Because you have to stabilize.
It's your whole fucking body.
It is. Yeah. After there was one day where I went like kayaking 2 years ago or something. And I was just having a lot of fun, and I was like going so fast.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how fast I could go. And then afterwards I was so sore. I was hurting all over.
You're always going to be a little sore the day after kayaking. And so that's whenever she gets to Miss Sarah's, and Sarah's like, oh, is that you? And she's like, yeah, it's me. And then she's like, hold up, I'm coming. And so that's whenever she does end up going into Miss Sarah's house, and she's getting a very warm welcome from Sarah,
which is like, because kudos to Sarah, I probably wouldn't be just like, oh, come on over. Like if someone randomly popped up on my lake, I'd be like, what, why are you here?
It's a little weird. It's a little, especially because she already had and she had an opinion of Megan.
Yes.
That was like already her opinion. And so this person's associated with Megan. So
maybe she was thinking, I want to save her.
These could also be very decent people. That's what it is. And so that's whenever, she leaves Jules alone to go get her a drink. And then she is, kind of looking around as one does, looking at the living room. And she has a picture of 3 girls. And so she's already assuming like, okay, that's, Megan. Jackie or Megan? We're going to call her Jackie?
Yeah. I feel like I go by Jackie. I only refer to her as Megan when
like Sarah's situation. Around. Got it. And so that's whenever Miss, what's her name? Sarah comes back, and she's like, oh, that's me, Ginny, and Megan when we were little. And she's like, oh, who's Ginny?
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, that was our friend. And then she's like, oh, does she still live here? And she's like, oh, sweetie, she's fucking dead.
She passed away.
R.I.P.
Yeah, she passed she was like, actually, it was about 2 weeks after that photo was taken.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm sorry, did Megan never tell you anything about this? And
she was like,
Jules is just like, no.
Yeah, and she's like, that's just really strange because like it was just such a big like part of our childhood. Like you think like she would say something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because she was like, that's pretty fucking weird.
Yeah.
That Megan never said anything. And
already
I was like,
another thing.
And then they are asking her how long they're going to be up there. And she says, we're basically just up for the weekend. It's for their 1-year anniversary. And so as we got back, I was like, ooh, how much do you not know about her? Because we flashed to a bed of Jackie sleeping and Jules just kind of looking at her. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot you don't know.
Yeah.
And then
she's already feeling that gut feeling of who am I in bed with?
Yeah. What have I gotten into? And then did this make you paranoid about anything? Because then for a second I was like, oh my God, is Andrew a killer?
Is it? Same. Yeah, no.
But I was like, when she was like, you can never truly know what's going on inside their brain. I was like,
it is very like.
But then I thought I would probably be the killer.
That's what I was thinking too.
I was like, oh my God, is it me?
I am the problem. That's exactly what I thought. Because
Taylor Swift.
It did make me think like about that, and I was like in people in like situationships. But then I was like, I mean, I would definitely be the killer in my relationship. Yeah,
the one that is not a.
Yeah.
You are the variable. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a constant.
There's a lot there.
Never know what you're going to get. Life's like a box of chocolates.
But I do see your point. And if anybody is watching this and you are married, even at that, this is definitely going to make you question like who your spouse is. Like you need to do a test. You need to do a background check. JK, you just make sure you trust the person. But still, because she thought she trusted Jackie too.
Yeah, she really did.
Also,
I feel like she started getting suspicious really easily.
Yeah.
So I was like, ugh.
And Jules actually does seem very smart and capable. So to me, what it gives very much so is I was about to call her Sarah, Jackie, manipulated one. Yeah. And has probably really done that well.
Yeah.
And at the same has really failed in her plan of bringing Jules back here by not vetting and making sure that fucking Sarah wasn't just fucking across the way that could fuck this whole situation up.
Also,
because she's apparently killed like 4 other ones before, so she got
it looked like there was
sloppy,
like 6 lockets.
lazy.
There was a
she
lot
got
in
lazy.
There. Yeah, she did.
She deserved to die.
Which also, like, if you're doing all of it for life insurance, like, they're gonna you're killing them all in the same spot. Yeah.
Like, they're all dying. All your spouses are dying and you're collecting all this money off of all of them.
They're
all short-term like spout. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The IRS or whoever they are a lot like more with the like.
Yeah, they would catch that. Life insurance
flashlight on. I said IRS. Someone would catch it.
Is looking.
Someone at all times. We're always watching. Always watching. And so we do have her. Then at this point, the next day she's talking to Miss Jackie, right?
Yeah, they're walking through the woods, and Jules clearly is upset.
Yeah.
And not really confronting the issue. But then finally, whenever Jackie's like, "You're a really bad liar," like,
what's going on?
What's going on? And she asks her about Jenny, and then
she's like, "Why did you ever tell me about her?"
Kind of turns it back around on Jules. I was like,
oh yeah,
bitch is gaslighting her
because she's manipulative. Because she's like, how could you have met with Sarah and Daniel?
Yeah.
And
then basically Jackie explains that they used to like swim / race across the lake, which is like, no, I'm not a strong swimmer in the slightest.
Yeah.
So I could never swim across a whole lake like that. But that's pretty far for like 8-year-olds to swim.
And dangerous. Yeah. I can see like kids who are like really, I can see kids doing that though. Maybe.
Yeah, I could too, which is scary.
But yes. Yeah. There's a whole lot going on because she is also just very much playing like the victim and like this very tragic thing happened to my best friend and I was so traumatized by it. We were swimming and when I looked back she wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, she said I got a leg cramp about halfway across, looked back, Jenny was missing. 2 days later they pulled her body from the lake.
She was bloated.
Yeah. She said I was cleared by the police and she was like, she was my best friend. I never would have done anything to hurt her. And then this was when I was like, maybe Sarah kills the people who gets close.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that would have been fun.
That would have been a good route to take it on.
Yeah. But then this is where Jules says, well, I invited them over for dinner.
Yep.
Basically.
They're coming on Sunday.
Yep. And then we're at the cliff.
We are. So we're at the cliff. We have
sudden.
And so okay.
It's like, what the fuck?
Here we are. We're at a beautiful cliff. There's a landscape, like, as far as I can see in front of or behind Jules. You know, she's taking it all in. And out of nowhere, as she turns around to Jackie to just say something to her, we have Jackie running up on her. Oh, no, we have the frame of just Jackie then looking at her and her whole demeanor changing. And then she just runs.
Screams and runs.
And pushes freaking Jules off the cliff.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
It was so abrupt.
I was like, is this a dream? I thought, I was like, this is a dream. This is fake. This isn't, no. I was like, did that really just happen? Because I suspected her, but then it just happened so quickly that I was like, what the fuck?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought it was pretty cool. And then obviously, because it's time marker, it's only like 26 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Because then I'm like, oh my God, fucking Jules is dead already.
Yeah, I know. I was like, man,
there's no other.
Had her like bloodied on the.
So then I started thinking like, oh, this is going to go to like Sarah and Daniel now. Like this is going to be a whole other thing. Like now she's got to cover up that she killed her.
Yeah.
So but
I did kind of expect her body to be gone whenever she went back.
Yeah.
I was like, she looked pretty broken, but I was like, that fall also. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're going to do this, like pick a taller cliff or something.
It's true.
Because the possibility that they could
someone
get up and walk
survive,
away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to chance that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she goes back inside of her cabin mansion and she is rehearsing her 911 call in the mirror, trying to act like, you know, the person who just had their spouse fall off a cliff.
Which is, have you ever listened back
shook.
to like 911 calls?
Oh, yeah.
They were faked.
Oh, when they're faked?
Mm-hmm. It's so weird to hear.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah. Because like they sound real. Like people are like have conviction of like actually.
But it's interesting how that sometimes like the police can
pick up.
Yeah. And then
there's a whole
psychologists and stuff are like, no, this is where they were lying. They paused too long here or something, and it's just they're doing too much.
It gives Ray the first 48.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to listen to not fun to listen to those. It's really sad.
There's TikTok that I follow of where it's like 911 calls, like crazy 911 calls. Sometimes they're a little grim, but it is interesting to hear.
That are funny.
No, this one likes to do like sad or kind of scary or spooky or like weird, like ominous.
Can you send me this?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I need to go down a hole.
I don't think it's never had a funny one though.
Oh.
No, so, but there have been some sad ones. Yeah.
I still need to know.
But anyways,
big curiosity.
Yeah, she's practicing all of that. So already from the get, we're like, okay, this girl has got all of her marbles twisted. Mm-hmm. And she's going back to retrieve the body. But and when she gets down there, the body's gone.
Body's gone. Just the locket.
Jules
left.
Somehow managed to fucking survive this fall.
I was like, good for you, Jules.
Really good, but we do see she's fucked up.
Yes, she really is.
She is just. The literal life has just been like out of her, and she's back. So she's stumbling through the woods,
really struggling.
She it's kind of like jarring the way she's like going back and forth, and then she it's like kind of cutting in like pieces in a way. Yeah.
And then it's also flashing between like this intimate moment between Jules and Jackie.
Yes.
And like a black and white kind of tone, and then it comes back to her, and then she's having to like
pop her shoulder back in place.
Yeah, sets her shoulder back in
place.
And
she screams
and retches.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, I probably would throw up from that too. And then, oh my God.
Miss Jackie?
Her hand.
Oh.
But I tried to put fuck her hand, like, oh, fuck her hand, but it says fuck your hand. Like, Y-E-R.
Yeah.
Your hand.
Fuck your hand.
Fuck your hand.
Oh,
fuck your hand.
It was pretty messed up though.
Yeah, it was really gross looking.
Poor thing. She's in pain.
It was like
this person's
so
in pain. Yeah, all bloodied up. And she is then having to hide because freaking Jackie is now out here calling out for Jules. And she is making it sound like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. Like, let's please come out. Like, let's talk about this. I am so sorry.
And it looked for like 1 second Jules was going to believe her. And I was like, you get your ass back
Jules
down.
is like,
Sit down.
They're both in frame. It's so close. It's very Jurassic Park. And she's about to walk out.
And also in Lord of the Rings.
Very Lord of the Rings.
Under and the ring wraith is up above them. Yeah.
Behind them. Yes. Yeah. And so that's whenever Miss Jackie drops the act and she's just like, fuck, underneath her breath.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh, yep.
I love how it like, yeah, because then I love Jules's facial acting, the actors' facial mannerisms. Oh my gosh, there we go. Are just really good at displaying like, what's happening, all the realizations that she's getting that we got, like twist. Oh my God. Yeah. Like, and especially after like your significant other, your wife just pushed you off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy.
That's a lot to take in.
That's
a little bit of a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna need some therapy.
And she can't even run.
No.
Because she likes to run to like think.
She does.
So that's fucked up.
Through the woods.
She really does.
But now she's got an actual rolled ankle that she can't.
She really can't do much of anything.
I didn't think it would happen from falling off a cliff. I thought it would happen from her trail running.
Yeah. So at this point, that's whenever, and also too, side note for Miss Jackie, whenever she did drop her character, why would she drop the character?
I don't know.
Jules could have been there at any moment.
Yeah.
You got to just stick to it. Yeah. If you're this deep in it.
And then like, because she even like keeps calling her all night too. Yeah, and it was like, you're clearly committed. And why would you drop it then?
At that point,
unless you were in the house or something where you knew like,
right?
Like facing a wall,
or
like right to a tree. You had your head there and you're like,
because it only took that one moment for Jules to realize like, oh, she's quite literally trying to kill me. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm so glad she saw that. Because
So like you said, she does search all night for her. And at this point, she is still like, walking around calling for her. And
Jules is like almost about to fall asleep. And I was like, for the love of God, do not pass out.
But Miss Jackie comes very close to her and we get what every horror movie has, a villain with the monologue.
Yes.
And
I was like,
she like puts that flashlight in her face and she's like basically calling her own self deranged.
Yeah, scary. Yeah. It felt like you're telling scary stories around the campfire and you put the flashlight under your face, to make your face look really scary. And she's like, maybe she's had a psychotic break. After all, we're in love, right? Like, this must be what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And she's saying, I'll find you. It's only a matter of time.
And then it starts raining.
Yep.
So kind of is a damper in Miss Jackie's search plans and trying to find her. And also, this has just got to be probably the worst night of Jules's life, I would have to imagine. Because like all of this is happening and now it's like just fucking raining and it's dark. And
honestly, the rain's good though, because then it can hide a lot of sound.
That's true.
I would have been on the move.
Use that to the advantage.
Yeah, the whole time. I wouldn't have stopped moving. I think at that point, because when your adrenaline is that high too, I feel like I would have used the rain as cover and like tried to get over to Sarah. I would have like walked around the fucking lake.
But we do know that Sarah, which she has mentioned at this point, she knows these woods like the back of her hand.
Yeah,
she knows these woods. And then also we did get, forgot to mention, Jules mentioning earlier, whenever she was coming to, okay, got to find the road. But Miss Jackie was already at the road.
Yeah.
So
I think that actually happens the next morning. I don't think we forgot to mention.
Okay, my bad. But we do have another flashback memory of the two of them, and they're talking, and Jules is trying to make Jackie guess what kind of bird she is. Yeah. And so she can't really guess what it is, and she's then like, oh, it's a crow, it's the smartest bird. And then we do have Jackie calling herself a bald eagle.
Yeah, because Jules says a crow is the smartest bird in the world, and then Jackie says, well, I'm a bald eagle, are you scared? And it was like, ugh.
And Jules wakes up.
Yep. And then I was like, girl, you need to get to Sarah's house because now Jackie is prepped for hunting. She's like in her camo gear. Yeah. She's like loaded up her little shotgun thing.
She's in the zone.
Yeah.
Auto zone.
I was going to go into another jingle, and then my
Which
mind
one was
blanked. Probably O'Reilly's to keep it on.
O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Ow!
I used
that
to
was
like
bad.
have a weird thing when I was a kid where I would just sing jingles like continuously.
Jingles are great.
I would just collect a bunch of jingles and then like sing them in order.
I want to just make jingles.
I would have
nothing but
must
jingles.
have been the most annoying kid.
What can we make jingles for? Cran Mango.
Cran Mango. Ocean Spray.
Cran Mango.
Just still the O'Reilly's. Ocean Spray.
Literally. Well, let's put a different thing on it. No, it's not the same. Sorry, you can't sue us. And so we have her trying to fight her fucking sleep. And then that's whenever she does kind of come back up to consciousness a little bit, because she's a puddle of water after it rained all night.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's going to drink the water. And at this point, I thought, because we did see Jackie getting ready, I was like, oh shit, she's about to get shot down.
Yeah.
Like, it's happening right now.
And those scenes there, as like we were kind of like, I understand what they were trying to do, like the slipping into consciousness with Jules and stuff. But I felt like it was almost a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
This movie there's
a lot of interesting
points, yeah, I feel like maybe they tried to get too many interesting angles or interesting takes.
POV shots.
Yeah, because we got like first person POV, but like not, it's a steady cam.
Mm-hmm.
But then we've also got, all these long shots, and then there's these interesting like artistic shots from like the ore at one point, and then there's this where we're like manipulating the camera and making it look like hazy and jolting, and it was almost a little too much,
a little heavy,
that I wish
heavy
they
on
just
it,
picked one.
Yeah,
and
I get what you mean.
Kept it consistent throughout the whole film,
or just it's always nice to have something here and there. But I get what you mean. It was more stylistic over like the substance of what was happening, but
which
A for effort.
It didn't like take away from the movie to me. It's just
I totally get what you mean, because by the time at the end of the movie was happening, I was like, oh, okay, here's another one. Like, oh, okay, got it.
Some other thing. Yeah. But basically she goes to find the road, and then that's and it was so creepy. Like, we hear Jules walking through the forest, and her steps are so fucking loud.
Yeah.
And then we get
Jackie's not.
a shot of Jackie's, and they're just silent. And I was like, well, that's so scary. And then it sets it up. It really does make you believe that Jules is in Jackie's sight.
Yeah.
Because
really
like we get this shot of Jackie looking through the scope thing, and then Jules like freezing like a deer caught in the headlights.
Literally.
But it was just a deer in Jackie's scope, and Jules made it to the house.
She did.
Which is why she paused.
Which
I think I would have just immediately grabbed the car and left.
If were the keys in the ignition?
I don't know.
But yeah.
I would have done something.
Tried to leave.
Yes.
Immediately. Yeah.
Or gotten the boat faster.
Well, that as well. Because she's getting in the house and looking for a phone, but she can't find the phone. The internet is down, obviously. Because I'm like, girl, you don't think that she thought
already
about
got
all
rid of all that?
Yeah.
Like,
of course. And so she's in that, because she's in that house for a while, because she has enough time to find the first aid kit and stitch herself up.
Yep.
And then this is when I put on the notes, like, okay, maybe she is a nurse or something, because she definitely knew like what her injuries were.
She was like,
and how to
not ruptured. And then she was like, oh, broken ankle. And then she was like, nope, just sprained.
Yeah.
And she was like going through everything. And yeah, her sewing job looked a little busted on her tummy.
But I mean, like, when you're in immense pain and trying to suture yourself while you're trying to be, I'm sure she was trying to be really fucking fast
and fast.
Yeah. But yes.
And then she puts her finger back in.
This might be why she never became a doctor, because she couldn't suture right.
She sucked too bad.
That's why she failed
stitching. Yep.
And so she knows a lot of medical shit, so that'll come into play later as well. And we cut to Miss Jackie is coming back to the house. She walks in. She notices that Miss fucking Jules was in here and was like stitching herself up and everything, because she finds all the bandages and wrappers and stuff from the first aid kit. There's blood everywhere,
and it makes you think right before that they're in the house together, because it seems as if, movie magic, it seems as if Jackie pulled up right as Jules was screaming, as she put her finger back into place, and then you hear that door close in the house, and it makes it seem like she's up there with Jackie.
Yeah.
But then I guess that was maybe the door to the outside closing. Is probably what it was.
Jules is outside and she's trying to get away in the boat.
Yup.
She's trying to swim all the way back to Sarah's place. And so she ends up getting in there. Jackie sees that she's trying to escape on the boat. And so she goes and takes this other little boat and is literally just like right behind her.
Yeah.
Because
she did
obviously
not make it far.
If Jules didn't know that she could barely get over when she was like fully healthy.
Now she's got a dislocated but now put back into place shoulder.
Yeah.
Probably broken. I mean, she's got a huge gash in her
internal
arm too,
injuries. Yeah, bleeding maybe.
And we're talking about how you need core strength. She's got a giant stomach wound that she's just stitched up.
But you know, maybe it's the shock at this point because she is powering through it.
Yeah.
She really is. And she's trying to get to the other side. And this is kind of a little bit for me of like a drawn out scene, but they're, kind of going back and forth of like, get away from me. Why would you do this? I'm coming for you. I'm going to get you. And then, literally, I'm going to get you. And she really pretty much does. She catches all the way up and she jumps inside of her boat.
A fucking Olympic rower.
Oh, and she was shooting at her actually as well.
Yeah, she was shooting at her at first.
Yeah, that's wild.
How
did she miss?
Open water.
Yeah,
which I was like, ugh. And then, then she gets in the boat, follows her, and then as soon as she gets into, I was like, she should have been screaming this whole time because then maybe like Daniel was outside. We later find out. I feel like Daniel maybe would have heard and done something.
Something definitely is not all right.
I would have been like screaming bloody murder.
But maybe at that point, she would have shot Daniel in that moment.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows? Because it's not our movie and it didn't go that way.
Yeah.
So we do have them, like you said, there's this whole kerfuffle with them in the same boat. And Daniel is on the dock and he's having himself a little drinky teeny. And he's like, hey, y'all good?
Yeah, because they're like screaming at each other.
And obviously it looks weird. And she's like, if you say anything, I'll kill them both or something like that. Yeah.
Because she's also holding her at knife point as well. And then he was like, okay, well, I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow for dinner. And then Jackie's like, tomorrow's actually not going to work. And then, hell yeah, Jules. She goes, tonight, like he says, tomorrow's not good. And then she says, tonight is.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah. And then they were like, 8 p.m.? Okay.
It's a date. Yeah. A double date.
And I was like,
a murder. And so at this point too, Miss Jackie's like, fucking bitch.
Yeah. She's like, what did I say?
Literally. And so and then poor Jules is just even the look she gives her right now is just complete terror and just like, oh shit, what did I do?
What is wrong with you? Yeah.
And also because I feel it's like realization of, oh shit, what I just do, but also like, I mean, she's very much cornered, and so she's just doing anything to try to survive. And so that's whenever we do get to find out, because Miss what's her name, Jackie, is bathing Jules, that this is all for fucking life insurance.
Yeah. She was like, you were supposed to fall, you die,
I get the money.
I get the money. Yeah. And
Jules, poor Jules, she's like, did you even love me? And she's like, nope.
She doesn't even hesitate. I was like, oh damn, okay.
And then that's whenever Jules is like, I'm gonna tell so many people, I am gonna scream whenever they get here, I am going to. And then fucking Jackie, oh man, she just starts like dunks her head in the water.
Yeah, holding her
pure
under.
torture.
And I was like,
this is pretty crazy. This movie, like, kind of for me at this point was like, it's really going there.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, intrigued, but also like appalled.
Yeah.
It
was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
And so you feel so bad for Jules because she can't fight back really at all right now.
Yeah, I mean, she's really injured,
and
she definitely has the low, like,
dunking her in the water.
Underhand.
And like, that's not fun.
No,
it gives me swirly vibes. And so she lets her come back up and is basically just like, if you don't comply, you're gonna get more of this, and
then I'm gonna
put their life in danger. Yeah, exactly.
She says, the moment you scream or say anything, she says, I will stab Sarah in her, like, whatever,
very scream
here, and then gut her basically from sternum down to her waist,
her bowels.
Yep. And make everything come out if Jules tries to make a scene. Jules is trying to, and then we flash to them in front of the fire, and Jules is trying to reason with her. And I was like, girl, this is clearly
there's no reasoning.
No,
not at all.
And she's like saying, you're sick, but I can get you help. And then like,
and even
falls
Jackie's
over
just like,
and like is on her knee. And I was like, girl, get away from that bitch.
and Jackie's
Do not
like,
touch
just
her.
stop. I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And you can't change my mind. You're dying. And then
she
she's
was like, we can get out of here. We can like just basically forget this ever happened before they get here. Like we can just hide this.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, did I ever tell you about my first wife?
Add it
Erica.
to the list. Add it to the list.
Got married when I was 19. Guess it slipped my mind until now. And it's like, you bitch. So it's like, okay, clearly she's done this before.
Yeah. It's just another slap in the face to Jules, because then she's just like, great. All right.
Yeah.
I'm really fucked.
And then she explains that she went swimming after having a few too many. And then she says, I mourned her right at her funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I grieved with her mother.
Yeah, I grieved like with her family. And she said, and I'll do the same at yours.
I'll just say like, nope, bitch, it's happening.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
Jules
Jackie
asks her,
is kind of savage.
Yeah. Jules asks her how much was she worth, and she says she was priceless. And then at that point, I was like, was this
That's
a
insulting.
mistake?
That's insulting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, that makes it seem like you actually did care about this person,
And you don't care about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
maybe at this point too, she's like, this is more trouble than I bargained for, because the other ones had to just probably like die like that, as we did find out
super
from
easy.
the one before this one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Sarah and Daniel are over.
yep, and clearly Sarah doesn't like her, because as they're getting over, he was like, just, it'll be fine. Like, just get like,
Let it
just one dinner.
just be chill.
Yeah.
Basically.
We're going to get through it. And then, kind of immediately Sarah is left alone with Jules.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, but then also
I was like, why, as her being like, why would she let her go out of her sight and be alone with one of them?
yeah, I don't
That
know.
made no sense to
It
me.
didn't.
She was begging for it.
I think she
honestly.
wanted to kill all of
murder
them.
everybody,
Yeah.
literally. She just needed that one little reason.
She needed it.
And
yeah.
so, we do have her with Daniel talking, and he and her kind of cutting the shit. They're getting along pretty great. And he's even like, you know what? My wife, Sarah, I shouldn't even say it. And then she's like, say it. And he's like, no. And she's like, she thinks I'm a psychopath. And he's like, yes. And so we do have her and him still kind of talking, and she's like, hold up, and like just pauses him, and then like goes to watch as Jules is now like whispering something into Miss Sarah's ear.
Yeah.
And they both look horrified as she's watching them. And she's
there's also, sorry, before we get too far past it, the dinner scene when they're at the table all together. I thought that scene was really good. And that's the part that made me question everything. Too.
When they're talking, because she's asking her like, how did you know she was the one?
Was the one? Yeah, and she says love happened slowly for me, and then a lot all at once. And then she ends it with, even though you can never really know what's going on inside their head, you take a leap anyways and hope for the best and just pray that you don't get the worst. And at this point, she's like crying too, and everyone's kind of like,
awkward, weird.
And then she's like, well, of course, when Megan, I got the best. And then
Daniel's like, haha, that's a good one.
Yeah. And that was I thought that was a good scene though. And I thought her little monologue, Jules is right there, was really good. And her acting throughout it, like they're crying and stuff going, she definitely showed a full range of emotion. Yeah. It was good. But yeah, they're outside. And at this point, I was like, well, Daniel's dead. Because the moment I saw both of their horrified looks, I was like...
And then Sarah, of course, is like, Daniel, get away from her. And he's like, what? I can't hear you.
What?
And she's like, Daniel. And immediately his neck gets sliced.
Yep.
Yes.
And blood.
Like a fillet. And blood comes out, our favorite color of red.
Yes.
And that's whenever we do have this whole little chase ensuing with Miss Jackie coming through the, like, what are those type of doors?
Double doors,
French doors.
Yeah.
And she starts chasing
Sarah up the stairs.
Yep. Yeah.
And that was a pretty cool chase scene too.
Yeah, I liked it.
Like the way that it was shot. I liked it.
She does get her in the hallway towards the end of it, and poor Miss Sarah kind of Jackie kept her promise.
Yeah.
She gutted her.
She did.
And she
did
stabbed
exactly
her
what she said.
so many times.
She really went over.
I feel like that was a lot of like resentment, maybe, and like a lot of pent up. She did say, didn't she say, I've always wanted to kill Sarah or something like that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like or you know what? She said this to Sarah. She said Jenny had more of a fight.
Jenny fought harder.
That's right.
Is what she said. And so we have confirmation that she did actually, in fact, kill Jenny. And then after she has that bloodbath, basically, she goes back downstairs and it's like, well, fuck, Jules, now your one chance of getting help is gone. And then she like holds her fingers up to Jules, makes Jules feel her own pulse. And she's like, do you feel that? Your heart's racing. And then she holds it to hers and she was like, mine's steady. And I was like, you just killed weird. 2 people and your heart rate is
so crazy.
Even kill. I walk up the stairs at all and my heart rate is through
the
roof.
My heart rate at all times throughout the day is just up and down. Like it is just, I can't even control it. I don't know if it's good actually.
It's not. Mine's not.
And so we do have Miss Jackie being a savage as always, doing that. And then she's talking to Jules, basically, chopping up Sarah and Daniel in front of her.
Yeah, she's like, do you know
this is your
how
fault.
deep the lake is? Because I looked it up when I was basically trying to decide whether or not to drown you. And she was like, it's 350 feet. And she's just hacking Sarah and them apart. Well, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
I wonder if she actually did make her chop up Daniel.
I think she did.
Yeah.
Because she knows how to do it. And
I feel like.
And I don't think she could physically do it.
No, yeah.
It takes a lot of strength to chop up a body.
And with also her injuries.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope she didn't really make her actually do that.
And she does row out to the middle of the lake and they sink these bodies.
Yep. Fish food. Chum.
Very much so. Shout out RIP to Mr. Daniel
chum
and
bucket.
Miss Sarah. Oh, and the chum bucket. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's true. They're perfect. They're perfect for the recipe.
That's right.
For the food. Oh, that food from the chum bucket. It always looks like just mush.
Yep.
And
this is exactly what it was.
We're back in the house and poor Jules just getting the really big shit end of the stick. She's
having to clean up the mess.
Literally.
Which I was like, what?
Jackie's making her clean.
And then she says, I didn't kill them. You did. And it was like, damn, bitch. And then she's like yelling at her and like about how she's scrubbing and not blotting. And I was like, if you want something done right, bitch, like you gotta do it yourself.
Right.
Like she could try to sabotage you.
Especially as I'm sure this is not your first murder and not your first cleanup.
Yeah.
And so that's whenever Jules does bring up her dad's situation and she's like, did he do something to you? And she's like you said earlier, no, bitch, he did not. They raised me fine.
Nature.
Nurture. Exactly. And she said like it's survival of the fittest, something like that. And I'm stronger than you or something like like very just like, what's the word? Not egoistic, but just like alpha. I am the,
I'm just better than you.
Literally. Very much so.
And then it goes into this
She kind of reminded me, if anything, like Allison Williams' character. Is that her last name? Allison from Get Out.
Okay. A lot of times in this movie, I was getting Get Out. Like the ending of her in Get Out. The way she was acting, like as she was eating the Cheerios just by themselves or whatever it was.
I feel that.
Yeah. She gave that part of her.
So maybe that's why I felt that.
I even felt that, I mean, she did a great job of fooling us the whole movie. Allison Williams did.
Yeah.
This girl did not. I mean, she was obviously creepy. The moment we got there.
She was never also, I feel like, trying to hide it at this point.
I don't think she was.
No.
Yeah. And then, we fade to black and then we are in this scene of her.
Like a montage-ish.
Yeah. Playing, of Jackie playing the piano. And this is one of the ones where it was like either it was Moonlight Sonata mixed with like one of the piano concertos in like C major or minor or something by but it was a very notable, like I recognized it when I heard it, and it was a little weird for me, because it was it was a monologue. She says like, I'm free in all the ways you're not, you're trapped. Oh my god, my notes are so wrong. There's
a lot of typos over there.
It says you're trapped by Rotini.
Rotini.
Way down by guilt. I don't even know what it was supposed to mean.
Leave the Rotini out of this.
You're trapped by a pasta.
What did the pasta do to you?
You're trapped by something. Weighed down by guilt. Not Rotini.
Yeah.
She definitely didn't say Rotini in that. But anyways, we've got the luminol and stuff, like this black light scene and her playing, and then we're flashing between Jules screaming on the bed and then Jackie actually cleaning up with the luminol to see, like, make sure she actually does get all the blood.
Yeah.
And then we wake up.
And then we have Jules is basically getting over Miss Jackie's body and escaping the bed. She got up before her got up at the ties that had her tied to the bed.
Which at that point I was like, bitch, why are you going over her? Just get out of there. It made no sense to me. Just get out of there.
At all times, Jules did not make wise decisions to me.
She was smart, but also dumb.
Yep. Real dumb. Two things can exist at the same time.
Yes.
They really can. And so Jackie is at this point almost out and making it, right?
Well, yeah, she is holding the knife up above her. She was going to stab her. She calls over her. And then as she plunges the knife in,
we figure out that it's a dream.
It's a dream.
Jules was just dreaming.
She never actually got out of the ties. And then that's when we flash.
Jackie's trying to feed her breakfast.
Yeah. She says, eat up. We got to make sure you have a full stomach in case of an autopsy. And she's like, I can't really have you fall off a cliff now with stitches in your stomach.
Which is just so crazy because this bitch is thinking about everything.
Yeah.
This is
but I was
not her first rodeo.
She's got stitches in her stomach. How are you planning on framing this as an accident?
Yeah.
Now?
And because even if you were to
have multiple previous injuries.
Yeah, because she's saying too, like, I've got the pliers here to take out your stitches. And so it's just like,
okay, they're going to see that
there were stitches. Yeah, even if they were taken out. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, as we learned from the autopsy of Jane Doe, they can tell many things from like
a little scar.
Yeah,
like what things are.
This has been here for a long time. This is
3 days, 2 days.
Yeah.
3 weeks. Yeah.
She's been dead for approximately this time. Like they're going to be able to tell that these were prior injuries.
Rigor mortis.
And rather that they had occurred too prior to death.
Yeah.
As well. Like because of the way that I'm sure the blood settled from moving, the fact that her shoulder was put back into place. Like they would be able to tell all of that, I'm sure. Pretty smart.
I want to go work in a morgue now.
No, I don't.
And so
the formaldehyde smell makes me want to throw up.
Oh yeah, is that the same smell that is like
when you're dissecting animals,
a frog and stuff?
Yes.
I
hated that
got
smell.
It would make me so nauseous. I don't like it either. And then if it got on your skin, or it was impossible to wash off. Yeah. It took a lot of washes to get off. You could still smell it.
It felt like it stuck to your clothes too.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Let's not talk about it anymore. Okay. And that's whenever we do have Jules is just looking at her finger and she's just kind of like, wow, this is really fucked up. Yeah. And that's whenever Jackie's like, don't worry, it's almost over. And she's
like, sit tight.
And as Jules is just kind of looking around, she looks up and she sees the bear's head from the story that Miss Jackie was telling her about. And she sees behind it that there's tucked away this little box, and she pulls it out, and it's like all the other necklaces from all the other women that, or who knows, there could have been men in there too. Yeah. Of who she's killed.
Yeah, exactly. All the lockets that she's ever given out. And she gets caught like red-handed by Jackie. She comes back in, and then she's like, drops the box. And I was like, girl, why were you not being like at all more careful or more aware of your surroundings right now? Or did
something with them, because you could use that as proof for something later. I don't know. Yeah. And so that's whenever Jules takes Miss Jackie, and they're in the car, and they're driving because she's gonna go take her to the cliff to go kill her. Yeah. And
Jules is just talking a lot.
She's talking the whole time.
Desperate to feel something, anything. And then we see that she's hiding something.
She does. And it is a little dart, like a little tranquilizer dart. Bloop. Because she then is just like, yeah, we will see her. I will see. She says something.
She tells her to stop talking. And I think she says, and like, you're just wasting your words, basically. And then she's like, yeah, I am. And like the words aren't going to slow the fall down, is what she says.
And then she just stabs her in the neck.
Yep, with the tranquilizer.
That's whenever she does, and they get out. She's able to get out of the car, and she starts running, and it's a whole chase scene.
And I was like, girl, don't run too far. Like that tranquilizer's got to come into effect at some point. Like, don't get too far from the car, get lost.
That's true, but then also she ends up running to the same fucking cliff where she got pushed off.
Yep, and I was like,
why would you go there?
Back at the original scene of the crime. I'm sure she didn't know that's where she was going.
Maybe.
And then it almost for 1 second as she's backed up with her back against it, I was like, girl, I would not try your luck at that fall again. I don't think you're gonna make it.
And she was backing up really close to the edge.
Yeah. I felt like she was contemplating just stepping off.
Really? Yeah. No, at this point, I just thought, like, man, she really she did it to herself again. Like, she's in the same spot. Why would you run there? If anything, if you saw where the cliff is right there.
If I saw that, I would have turned that way. Taken a left.
left or right. Like,
Yeah.
don't just keep going straight towards the end of it. And that's whenever Miss Jackie comes up and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna get you. And she's like trying to, you know, walk towards her. And then she's got this big old knife and then she just falls to the ground because obviously the tranquilizers are kicked in all the way.
And then she walks up to her remarkably fast. I was like,
what do you mean?
Well, like she approaches Jules' body.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you getting close to her? What if she's faking this to get you close to her and she's not actually like out? But then thankfully she was.
And then she picks up that knife, like you said. And at this point, I'm thinking, like, just fucking kill her. Just stab her, do something.
And say self-defense. You clearly have a lot of wounds.
Drag her body, throw it over the cliff, do something.
Yeah.
And, like, she just
or
tries.
just get the fuck out of Dodge.
And you know what? She does, because she ends up driving. She gets in that Jeep and she takes off, and we get this really nice, not nice scene, but you know, this shot of her just crying as she's driving away. Yeah. Obviously.
And we even see that there's another car
that drove
on
past
the road.
Her.
Yeah. And she's like crying, and you're getting the shot through the windshield, which I thought was good. I liked that. Yeah. Because then it kind of like,
there's a glare.
Yeah. You can't really see Jules's face too much. At one point, as she was driving, because she hesitated by her body.
And I think that's also like making it, they're trying to be ominous, because you're also thinking like, wait, does she have what's her name's body in there with her?
Yes.
Like,
I was like, please tell me she left her body at the cliff.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe she was like,
fuck, she took her.
Yeah.
She took her.
And I
can
like,
fix
you
her.
Dumb bitch.
Or she's going to like try to take her to jail.
Yeah.
Or, like but yeah, no.
But thankfully she didn't.
And at this point, you would think maybe the movie's over.
Yep. I wish it would have ended there.
This is, in Caitlin's mind, where the movie ends.
Yes.
At this point, give your booze.
At this point, I would give this movie a solid 3.75, maybe a 4. Like, it was good. I liked it. I thought it had a lot of great moments, lots of good. The acting was great. There were a few too many little shots that, like I said, but again, it didn't really take away from the movie. And then overall, I mean, I thought the storyline was good, and it like. That would have been about an hour, 25 minutes or something, like sweet spot, like really well paced.
Yeah.
And very like believable, like that, you know, this is a situation someone could be in, and like, wow, thank God Jules escaped. Hope she goes find some help from the police.
But what does she do? She doesn't.
Bitch turns around.
Because we get a little flashback.
Yes, because she sees a fucking crow in the windshield, and I was like, even at that point, even with the crow flying across and the caw, like I would have been like, okay, fine. Like, you know, that's a symbol. Like the crow's there. It's the smartest bird in the world, and it made it. It made it.
Yeah.
End.
Literally, I get what you mean.
That would have been great. But then, yes, we get that flashback.
And it's to the same conversation, right?
Yep. Yeah. We're getting the crow cawing yet again. And she's like stopped there on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And it was like, I also don't think I really needed this scene to replay there. I'm gonna remember someone sitting there going caw caw. Like, yeah. I'm not gonna forget that scene.
And the crow was there, so it was like, you know, we can put the dots together. But she ends up turning around.
Yes.
And she's going back. And at this point, I'm thinking like, what the fuck? I'm like, why would you be going back?
My notes for like 5 to 6 bullet points are, you dumb bitch. What the fuck are you thinking? Why the fuck?
Just
you
not
are
a
so
great decision.
Dumb. Why?
Just does not really feel like it would pan well for you to go back to a situation that was very dangerous for your life.
And then I was like, you are so stupid. I can't. Literally hating this movie more now because of you right now.
But that's actually an analogy. I just thought about it. Because that's actually beautiful. Don't we all do that?
What?
We just keep putting ourselves in dangerous situations that we know we shouldn't be in, that we've been in before.
Is that beautiful?
A little bit.
Or sad?
Well, sad, tragic.
Self-sabotage.
And it's just kind of like, this is the super extreme of it, you know?
The full circle of life.
But this is just like, you know, the extreme of like what ugly could lead to between like, you know, she's literally like, her spouse is trying to kill her.
Yeah.
It's very Mr. and Miss Smith, but without the beautiful people of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fun, witty commentary between the two of them.
And so that's whenever
banter, rather.
She goes back. And at this point, I'm also thinking like she's going back to the cabin. And I'm just like, because she hasn't gone back to the body, right?
No,
yeah. She did. My bad. She goes back to go go look at her body like over the cliff, and that's when she realizes that she's not there anymore.
Yep.
So I'm just like, fuck. Wait. I'm sorry.
That is
not over the cliff, but at the cliff.
At the cliff.
Yes.
Yeah. She realizes she's not where she was passed out.
Yes.
Just I'm assuming only like an hour or so maybe before.
Doesn't feel like that much time.
I feel like maybe 30 minutes. And I don't think she should be up from this tranquilizer yet. But
she's psycho.
Yes.
And so that's whenever
makes you
superpowers. Yeah. She's a villain. And so that's whenever she goes to the cabin. And at this point I'm thinking like, why would you go back? Like I would at that point got in the car and then just left. I don't even know.
I would have been like, okay, don't need to know.
Yeah, because at this point you're going back to the cabin. She could have had a sniper, another gun, or something, and she's
watching you.
And she's just all she had is that knife.
Yeah.
And so she ends up going into the house.
And clearly, like Jackie is a trained killer.
Mm-hmm.
That you're not going to stand a chance.
Yeah, no, not at all. She's obviously done this a lot of other times before.
Yeah.
And who's to say that you're not the one that even stood up? What if someone even else put up a bigger fight than you?
Yeah.
Obviously, Jenny did.
Jenny.
Jenny sure did. Jenny fought back, and she still died.
And she was 8.
And she was fucking 8. And so that's whenever
she starts setting up speakers.
She's setting up speakers.
I was like, what the fuck are we doing now? Are we having a dance party?
That's what I thought. I was like, what? And she sets these big old speakers and just starts blaring this rock music. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so what?
It's an open invitation. She's letting her know exactly where she is. And
yeah. And at this point, too, I think she did she grab a gun at that point? She had grabbed a gun by that point. Mm-hmm. And so she is then just...
She's like standing in the window with this music's playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just kind of like, like you said, making it known that she's there. It's an invitation. And so we do see that Jackie hears the music, and she does end up coming to the house.
Yep.
And it's nighttime. And by the time she does end up coming to the house, the music's not even playing anymore. But,
I know.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I guess the song ended.
Yeah.
They only had rights for that one song.
And so, and then we get a very POV shot or steady cam of like, just like her going into the house and searching for Jules.
Yep. And this,
and I like the way it's like looking, and then like it turns around and it's back on her.
And it's on her, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a cool shot. Mm-hmm. And that's what so all of these different shots were all cool in their own right. Mm-hmm. I just think that maybe there's too many different kinds.
It's like when someone does, really good shot. Well, I feel you. It's like a PowerPoint. When you're doing a PowerPoint, it's like
putting every single kind of transition in.
Like at every single moment, they're all different. Like, no, you pick a good starter and a good ending one. And then you pick a good like one that you use for all the main stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not giving a pixelated like
into a cube,
burst.
Into like a fan,
horizontal,
into like a horizontal
coming across.
Swish, zigzag. Yeah.
Star.
So I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And so we do have her looking around, and then that's whenever I think Jules comes up from behind and puts the gun to her head.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, watch that be a toy gun. Mm-hmm. I was like, what if this is like so fake, old, just decoration? Yeah.
And so she ends up she tells Jackie to get on her knees, and she's like, I'm not fucking kidding. Or playing with you. And so she tells her to get on her knees. She bops her on the back of her head. And then that's whenever Jackie starts telling her about the gun. Like, if you try to kill me with that, you're probably just going to hurt yourself. Like, it'll release shrapnel all over your face because it's so old. It's an antique.
It's an antique.
And then Jackie's
hasn't been fired in 50 years.
No. And then I love how Jules is just like, is that true?
Yeah. And I was like,
it's like so dumb. And Jackie just gets up and she's just like, just put it down. You know you're not a killer. Mm-hmm. And Jules just sucks ass because she literally
she fires it, but Jackie's already got the barrel.
But Jackie had already got the barrel by that point. Yeah. Like, it just makes no sense.
Maybe she was startled, and that was why her finger pulled the trigger then. But then, yeah, she misses her like 3 times.
Yeah.
Basically, she tries to shoot 2 additional times after that and misses. And then she goes upstairs and the attic is open. And so I was like...
And obviously a ploy, because then Jules goes to try to look for her up there. And then like, Jackie comes out.
Yep.
And they obviously have another skerfuffle.
I said, girl, are you some special type of stupid? Like, what the fuck?
Because why would you? And only half your body. And like, it just made no sense.
No.
What you do is you close the damn thing. Because obviously she's stuck up there then.
Bitch.
Yeah. You have to come down at some point or I'll shoot you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's going to have to like jump out the building and hurt herself.
Exactly.
Like, so, you know.
wouldn't, never, don't go.
So,
no.
So then.
Y'all, if you're ever thinking of going into the attic,
just don't. And if you think someone's up there, just literally just lock the bitch because they're stuck up there.
And there's probably a snake. It'll get them.
Probably a snake and a scorpion, and it's probably Bagul.
Yes, I know. Whenever the attic was open, I was like, plot twist, she's doing all of this for Bagul.
It's all for Bagul.
That's what I thought. But then I was like, I'm not going to bring Bagul into this one too, because I did that in another film.
I'm trying to overcome my fear of Bagul. So now I have to love Bagul.
Do you open up a picture?
I should put him as a screensaver. But I need to overcome my fear and make Bagul my friend.
Okay.
So now we just can openly talk about Bagul.
Okay.
Bagul is cool.
Bagul is cool.
Bagul is cool.
That's a cute shirt
idea.
idea.
Sure.
Let's wear it.
Bagul is cool.
Bagul is cool.
And so
I love it.
It's my drag name.
So many.
Oh my gosh, no, we gave Tex, we gave him a drag name.
Oh, yes.
I gave it to him.
What is it?
It's Texas, Delaware.
I love it.
Texas, Delaware, right?
Okay.
But like there's a third state as like the end, but it changes upon like, you know, if they like if he's a good boy, it's like Texas, Delaware, Montana.
Montana is exactly what I was thinking. Is Delaware like
look
a
little Texas, Delaware, Montana?
Where's Delaware?
Delaware's a state. Yeah, a little Texas, Delaware
I was
state.
Like, is that the capital?
And
but
then
I was thinking Montana.
If he's bad, he's like, Texas, Delaware, Florida.
Florida,
like,
bad.
And then like if he's feeling a little saucy, it'd be like Texas, Delaware, Idaho.
Maine.
Oh, we're Maine.
Yeah.
Texas,
Saucy
Delaware, Maine.
crab.
Yes. And then Leonard got Renee Crystal.
I like that.
Because she's sassy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
And it sounds like a little stripper.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And she got a big head.
With her big head and wrinkles.
Mm-hmm.
So
cute. These are dogs, by the way.
Leonard's
Gave
a girl.
Dog drag names. Leonard is a boy.
Okay.
Did I say girl? My bad.
Yeah. But then I was like...
But she...
Like, oh no, did I have Leonard's
We are
name
just also
wrong
just
the
giving
whole
them
time?
pronouns. They, them.
They, them.
They,
That's
them.
Right. I was like, oh, I feel so bad. I always was like, hello, little boy,
Oh,
to Leonard.
Leonard
and then I
is
was
a
like,
boy.
oh
Yes.
no.
He does have... as far as I know, identifies as male.
Yes.
But we might just also identify him as male because he has a little penis.
Yes, he does.
And a little ball sack that has no balls in it because he's whatever that's called.
And snip.
Yeah, it's just a little sack.
Little skin.
Yeah.
Aw.
He's so cute though.
He is a cute boy.
Aw.
I
Okay.
love him.
He's so bad though. Okay, anyways. All right. So once again, we're getting off topic. So what were we at? There's the fight that
Yes.
happens, and
Which
all
this
we
was a
do,
cool scene.
I thought, yeah, it was really cool. We're on the first floor, and they're just like bound. We see our point of view of like them fighting. We just hear it. We just see a lot of thuds.
And like
The
the
floor
chandelier
shaking.
shaking and stuff.
But never, and we're following them throughout the house
Mhm.
as they're fighting and kind of having this altercation. We do have one gunshot that goes off.
Yeah. And then finally, all throughout that noise, you get one pair of footsteps
Yep.
receding. And it was like, uh-oh.
And
So someone's
who's
won.
coming down the stairs?
Jackie.
My money's on Jackie.
Yup.
And who was it? Jackie.
It was Jackie.
It was Jackie. It's always Megan and Jackie.
And then we flash to Jackie grunting and this like kind of shot of
POV
some
shot,
trees.
another one.
Yep. And
Of
dragging,
her
a
dragging
body.
Jules.
Yep.
And she's taking her. Where's she taking her to?
Back to the cliff. And I was
Taking
like,
her
how
back
are
to
you
the
going to
cliff.
frame this? I don't really get it.
Because I don't either. Because a lot at this point, there's literally so many injuries on her
Other
body,
injuries, yep.
and she's very fucked up. And so she's got her on the edge of the cliff. And at this point, we do have Miss fucking Jules almost coming to, and
Just
as soon
in
as
time.
just in time, and she's like, "Check it out!" And Chance will get Check it out.
Yeah. And then she hits like that. And that shot
And the
was cool.
camera and like everything falling,
Yeah.
and we just get her face. Yeah,
It felt very that gave found footage.
I did.
And which obviously so I liked
Found footage. Yeah.
it. That's what it needed.
On this segment of found footage, it did though.
A bitch died. She was dumb. And
Oh,
went back
and at
it
this
caused
point,
her
I
to die.
honestly was just like, Jules, you deserved that. You deserved every moment of that.
Yep.
Because how did you allow yourself to get in this situation?
Why did you
How
go back?
did you do this, and why did you hesitate in killing her not once but twice, even
Yep.
after you came back? Because
Yup.
and even if she thought, well, maybe this shotgun will backfire on me, like just bap her in the back of the head like 5 times with it.
Yeah,
Those are
just
really
knock her out.
hard,
Yeah.
literally, and then do something. But anyways, we do have once again Miss what's her name?
Jackie's
making the actual 911 phone call.
Yep.
Yeah. And she is pretty good at making it sound like an accident happened, and she's really, startled and
giving like the location, and then all of a sudden, like they're in the middle of nowhere.
You're cutting off. I can't hear you.
I can't. And hangs up. And
Click.
Then she's just like, her face immediately falls.
Oh, she's sweet but a psycho. That's what she is.
Yes, she is.
And then that's what she's actually not even that sweet. And she starts throwing up. She's retching because she's wretched.
She starts retching.
She's retching because she's wretched.
Wretched. I said wrecked.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. But she's throwing up, and it's like, okay. And this was where I was like, okay, this is insulin issues. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was like, this is something because of that. Mm-hmm. And then
which we knew it was going to come up.
Yep. As she finds the insulin, I was like, I hope she switched her insulin into something else.
And so she puts it into herself. And because we also do get the little flashback as well at the same time of like them, Miss what's her face? Jules was injecting her with her insulin for her, and she's putting it inside of her. And then at the same time, we do have Jackie injecting herself with it. And so, but then
and that's where we get the little comment about the nurse,
about all that happening. She's like, why aren't you a doctor by now, or something like that, right? She's like, don't ask me about it or something. And she's like, you should really pay more attention to what you put in your body, something like that.
And then that's when we pop to a video
that's on the laptop, and it was filmed by Jules before she died.
Yep. And she's like, if you're watching this, I died. Dead.
So stupid. But yeah, and she's like, you know what? I wish I could see the look on your face, because guess what? Your medicine, I switched it for hydrogen peroxide. Yep. And once it is injected into your bloodstream, it travels through that bloodstream and it creates clots, and those clots get to your brain. And guess what happens?
You have a stroke.
Stroke.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we get the scene of Jackie throwing the insulin tube, basically after she smells it, the little container, against the wall. It's shattering, and then she's just running through the woods.
Yeah.
Faces another black bear.
Yeah.
And I was like, the fuck? And then we
see this little girl
morphs into her, so it's young Megan.
Yeah.
Now we're back with little Megan, and then she symbolically pulls the trigger on herself because Megan pulls the trigger. Adult Jackie falls forward, starts having a stroke, and dies in the forest. And then
seems like a pretty painful death.
Yeah. And then we flash back to Jackie, or to Jules.
Yeah.
Over there, and we see that that opening scene that we saw of the woods in the if you're laying on the ground.
The ground, not aerial shot.
Yes. Was what Jules saw when she fell.
Yeah.
And then how does it end?
At the very end, just when it's about to fade to black, we do get a
yep.
Literally not even like a it's like a
yep.
Yeah. And so she may have just woke up. And honestly, at this point, we do have it bad enough that she went back. And at this point, I'm like, okay, you know what? She went back. I can't do anything. She went back. That's her decision.
Yes.
I don't support it, but she did it, and I still love her. But the thing is that she got killed. Like, if you're gonna go back, please, don't get killed. But she got killed. And then at that point, she had this awesome backup plan of well, if I'm gonna get killed, I'm taking you out with me.
Yeah, you down
which
too. She
did. But in the end, even if she does come back, I'm thinking of just she's got to be really fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of trauma. That's a whole lot of
I would just want to be
cops
at that point.
This could look like you did something.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe, you never know. And it's just a lot. And I also thought it would have been.
There's also video evidence that she killed
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without even explaining I'm doing this also because I'm getting back at you for what you did to me.
Yeah.
And this is the and who knows, maybe there was a separate file, but I don't know. And it's just kind of it just sucks that she there's a thing of her coming back, because I thought it was a beautiful cap-in if they both would have died, and then it ended on that shot where we opened and that's it. But it didn't. But throughout the whole movie, honestly, I thought I was entertained the whole time. Yeah, especially because you get into it pretty quickly, and the twist of her then and then it becomes a very kind of cat mouse situation.
Yeah.
Which is always pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some really cool stylistic shots. The music was pretty good.
Yeah.
I really actually enjoyed the scene. I think my favorite scene in this whole movie is whenever they're with Sarah and Daniel, and Jules is telling Sarah about it, and they're like the face acting, like there's no words.
Yeah.
And then
and
then she's just like, Daniel, get away from her.
Yeah.
And then just slit. Like, cause
That was good.
she just walks over there. Like, so just like nut face.
Time to
like
do.
just like boom. Another day on the job.
Another one.
And it's honestly really badass.
Yeah.
And so I thought the characters were really good. I thought the actresses did really well throughout the whole film. And it really is, I mean, it does make you think and makes you start to kind of question, like, it's one of those movies that it's almost so real life that you can actually kind of fit this into who you know. And then
And
not
then
that's
get
not
paranoid.
that not that it's that not that being paranoid and being anxious is good, but like that, like the movie can have that much of an effect.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Even though we do know cinema does affect, like, obviously, you know, it's an influence, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rate it.
Uh-huh.
Boo rating of 3.5 all around. All around. And it actually would have been a 4 for me if Jules would have just fucking, I know that might be just like fan service or just like also like it's not real enough, but if Jules would have just came back and really like bossed up and killed the fuck out of her,
Yeah.
I honestly would have really been
That would have
satisfied.
been fun.
Really satisfied.
It would have made
because the whole time she's the little
like,
mouse.
understand why
the
she
underdog
went back
and
more.
you're always rooting for that underdog, and like
Yeah.
you were just like hoping, man, she's gonna get it, like she's gonna get her back.
Boss
and like
bitch.
she might be coming out like barely alive, but she's gonna get her back.
Yeah.
And, you know, and vindicate, and then vindicate all those other families that like, no, your spouses did not just, your kids, your whatever did not just die. Like, this person murdered them.
Yeah.
And I killed her. You're welcome.
You're welcome. And let's get you some money back.
Yeah, I don't know. Literally something like that. But yeah, so 3.5 for me.
That's fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you want to go ahead and give yours? Yellow Light Scene?
So it would have, I think it probably would have gotten a 4 had she left and or came back and was like just bossed up the situation. That would have made it, I would have understood maybe a teeny bit more why she went back. But I was like, girl, you were free. And now you're just really fucking dumb. You can come back, and the police, like, you've got all this evidence. The police will, like, someone will find her. And it just was a little bit too much for me there. Overall, I thought the acting, like I said, was really well done. They did a great job.
Yeah.
No question about that. I did like the music a lot. There were a few too many where it felt like it was trying to be like art house or elevated horror kind of thing, where like with that ending scene and the metaphorical, like pulling the shot trigger on
and then
her
like all the little like flashback moments, like not that saying flashbacks are bad, but the way they were shot were very like intimate and very like the grayscale.
Yeah.
So
and then also like
there's a lot of stylistic choices happening.
Yeah. And maybe having only brought it back once rather than like how we talked about earlier with the Crow one coming back, because like obviously that was a pretty memorable scene. I didn't need it to be repeated for me because like I can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
So it felt like almost a little too spelled out, and not just for like the Crow being the smartest bird and like, you know, Jules being really smart. This movie didn't okay, this is about to sound really bad, but this movie didn't feel like it was for smart people. Like it was maybe a little too spelled out.
Okay.
And I wanted things to be a little bit more left up to interpretation. And then if you don't get it, that's just your bad. I'm sorry, you're not smart enough.
But that's always your take as well. You do enjoy things to be more like sublime and
that's
not
true.
as like heavy on the hammer and or in the dark or
it either needs to be like one or the other for me, which is, I know, not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And so like I prefer things that are a little bit more left up to interpretation, or, you know, you have to really understand and get a deep, maybe you need to watch it a second time for that understanding to be there. I don't necessarily want things to be like halfway spelled out, because then there was also the issue of, you know, like their backstories were never quite
fleshed
explained.
out.
Yeah. And like the whole idea with the nurse doctor thing, I wish maybe we would have gotten a little bit more of that. Like maybe use some of that screen time from the,
like the boat chasing.
Yeah. Or that to maybe give us a little bit more understanding of the characters themselves because they're good characters.
Yeah.
They are. And I wanted to know more about them. And like
this could have been a really good series.
Yeah.
Like a limited series with like 4 or 6 episodes.
That were like each an hour and a half or something.
An hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. An hour, Caitlin.
Don't get crazy.
But an hour and a half, that's only like 9 minutes shorter than what this movie was.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
no, I get what you mean though. I do like that there's a lot of release and rise in tension throughout the movie though too.
And overall, like, I mean, I think there were a lot of great choices. And like we said, it had a lot of different ways it could have gone. The way that it did go was still a perfectly great way to go. Like the fact that she's just a psycho killer is, that was good.
Yeah.
I can take that. And I wish Jules wouldn't have gone back. I do like that she like used science to beat her. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, she's smarter.
Yeah, I was like, she was smarter.
Played into the crow.
Yeah, and that was cool. And pretty savage in a slow, painful way to have someone die, which was
in the way that she did.
Yeah,
good revenge.
It was. But overall, I mean, I still really enjoyed this film. I did. It was just that ending scene where I was like,
give it a 2.
Ending part.
It's okay.
No, I think I'll give it. I was thinking 2.75, but I think I still overall enjoyed the majority of the movie. 75% of this movie, I still really
just that
liked.
ending for you that was just like
that I was like, no, you dumb bitch, you are so stupid.
Yeah.
So I think a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very polarizing review from Caitlin.
Yes.
No,
really loved most of it,
but only the ending.
The ending.
But hey, I feel like it's happened to a lot of things. So it's kind of
because I was excited. I was like, damn, this is a good movie. I was like thinking of my boo rating throughout, and I was like, this is gonna get a 4. Like this is pretty good
because there's a lot of ideas.
And then I was like, no.
Well,
I take it back.
We do have our listener, Miss Sunny, her whatchamacallit, her review.
Her
boo rating.
Boo rating. I'm sorry, Sunny. I did like it, and I'm glad that I watched this movie.
Yeah.
I'm a better person for it. And I'm also scared
of everybody.
Yes, and myself.
Our significant others, our boyfriends.
Yes.
So she said, from the beginning, it's apparent that Jackie is hiding something, and as the plot progresses, it makes you wonder: can you ever really know who you're married to? Which I read that and I was like, oh, that's deep. That's a deep cut.
I'm scared.
Yeah, honestly, because you never really. I mean, you do know, but like, you never really know. That's crazy. No. That's wild.
They could just. I mean, a lot of the times, all the time, it's always the husband or the wife. Like.
Something. Yeah, that's right.
The spouse
that's true.
That kills someone.
It's the person you're closest to.
Ugh, that's so scary.
And
so hard to trust people.
It is. And she did say that she loved the movie because it's very tense, and she had to remind herself to breathe following the twist.
Oh, yeah.
Which I feel that. And then she did give the movie 4 boos out of 5 boos.
Well, good. I'm glad that she liked it. And Jackie, sorry, I'm still
Sunny.
on the movie. Sunny, you're a smart person. I didn't mean that you're a dumb person.
She is very smart. Yes.
Also, I just love that we have quite a few. She suggested a lot of cool
She really
titles
did.
for us.
Yeah,
so,
about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to hit all of them, to be honest,
and
because they all looked pretty interesting.
Her theory on that Harry Styles is, she messaged us about that. That
Harry Styles is
a killer or something.
Oh, he could be.
And I was like, yeah, I can totally see this. And I had messaged back. I was like, I need to know. And then, of course, I did my famous where I don't ever follow up with anything.
We're both bad at social media. It's okay. I think everybody knows at this point.
Okay. I said, please, I have to know. But she just said no concrete evidence yet. I had replied to her story, though, because she was like, I just have this weird. It was, I think, when Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine.
Oh, gotcha.
Spit, with in quotations. He didn't actually. Was going all around, and then she was like, I just have this theory that Harry's the bad guy. And I was like, I want to know.
That's my theory too.
Yeah.
Honestly. And he kind of is, because he just did beat
Beyonce
at the Grammys, which is kind of like, who's doing that? But you know what?
And
Art
then
is
when
art,
he was
and
like,
he worked hard on it. People worked
like
hard on
me
that.
don't
so.
ever win this. And I was like, you're a white man, sir. You
Yeah,
are
when
a
he
white
said that, yeah, I think the whole internet's just like, what does that even mean? Like, come on, like, are you like you're
that you dress in weird clothes,
and people eat that shit up.
Yeah,
people eat that shit up, and like honestly, it's
because
not,
you're a white man, and there's so many other people who have done that before you and have been scrutinized.
Like, exactly, yeah.
Sorry, I do enjoy Harry Styles, but I didn't think that one was. This is not a Grammys podcast.
As it was.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
also,
literally the only new song I know from
his
him.
prior album was better.
Yeah, the one with the watermelon, right? Or is that this
Watermelon
one?
Sugar?
Yeah. Watermelon Sugar High.
Yeah.
That one. That's a good one.
Golden? Is that what
I think
that
I know
one's
it.
called?
I don't know.
Yes,
But as always, we're in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios.
We just lost so many fans.
Thank you guys for always taking care of us. If you want to listen to our podcast or any other podcast, you can always do that at roguemedianetwork.com.
That's right. And there's also a whole slew of other podcasting platforms you can listen to us on. And the biggest two are
Spotify
and Apple. But wherever you do listen, don't forget to
rate, review, Ocean Spray, Cran Mango. But also rate, review, like, and subscribe.
That's right. This podcast brought to you by Ocean Spray. Because rate and reviewing is the only way that... Ooh, I like that. I want to fall asleep to that every night. Can you just come whisper in my ear?
I'll do it. I'll give you brown noise.
Yay, thank you. Because you're brown.
A little bit. I'm a little tan. I don't know and say I'm brown.
That's funny. But that is the only way we can get ahead in this world. And then if you want to let us know your listener requests so we can cover that,
yeah,
you can
please.
reach out
You can
to
also
us.
reach out to us at R1 social media, which is at BooBaes podcast on Instagram, and that's at BOOBAES podcast, because we're your BooBaes, not your BooBabes.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, our Hellraiser remake Hellraiser episode will be coming out on Tuesday.
Tuesday,
And
which we
then-
did mention this one and that one.
Yep.
So you're going to be hearing that.
Which was confusing.
But it's okay.
Because time.
It's an illusion.
Then we'll be recording some other movie after that.
Yeah, I'm really excited though, because I love when we have a clean slate, because we can just kind of do whatever.
And we're almost to our 100
episode.
So we should probably figure something out for that.
Our bi-tricentennial 100th episode.
That's right.
But as always,
as always, get the fuck out.
Bye, Baes.
Bye, Baes.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.